This is a conversation for ladies. And I texted my good friend Charlamagne. I said, as a friend to the show, I heard the conversation yesterday. I appreciated the critique and the constructive nature of it. And I said, since I'm down the street on the train, let me pull up and I want to hear from you, Lauren, about what you agree with and what you disagree with, and have a ladies conversation about it.
Let's do it. So the disagreeing for me came with the starting with the infertility and the market value, the appreciating. So with the infertility, I know I said this yesterday, some stuff is science, right? You can't get around that. But I feel like when you start with that and you lead with that, it then makes people get defensive and they don't even hear the rest of it. I know when I first listened to it, I was like, oh God, this is going to be another one of those conversations where like someone's telling me as a woman, by the time you get this age, your life is over. And, when you're trying to figure things out and you're like, I'm 31 years old, right? Like, I'm recently out of a very long relationship. As a woman, as a Black woman, right? Especially working in the space that I work in, I might not get that other chance. Like, I got to do it right the first time. And I think
You're talking about professionally?
Professionally and personally.
Okay.
But I just feel like when you lead with the stuff that you lead with, it instantly turns the conversation negative. And for someone like me who is watching and learning and listening to you, it makes it where now I am defensive. I don't want to watch, listen, and learn. I don't hear the rest of what you're saying. So now I'm not being taught. And I should feel like I can listen to you and learn from you and not feel like you're the op.
So I want to just go back actually to your first point, Lauren, which I think you are conceding that you had a reaction to my commentary that was so visceral in nature that you actually shut down your listening comprehension skills.
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah.
Okay. So because of that, though, right, I'm not going to sit in a posture of ownership because you made a choice to be limited in the way in which you received and processed the information. Now, you are a grown woman and you have autonomy over what you choose to consume and what you choose to not consume. So when I was giving the advice, the strategy, the game, putting, certain people up on some game, I'm talking to a very limited pool of young Black ladies, the ones that are currently in school or immediately following school or graduate school. So this is actually not even applicable to you, Lauren. No, let me finish.
No,
right?
hold
No,
on.
I have to finish because
wait,
you.
wait, no, wait. Hold on,
I have to finish my thought.
I just want to wait before you finish your thought.
Okay.
I just want to let's rewind a little bit because I also think too the reason why people also, because not just me or the people, because even the people it's meant for, I'm sure some of them did the same exact thing as well
and
too,
some
right?
did not,
right? And some did not,
and some did not,
right?
Because you read all the comments, right?
Yeah, I did.
And
but
some
what
people really
I think happens
that.
is with you, and I saying this in the most respectful way. I think that the way that you approach things, like even this conversation right now, it can make it does that. It dilutes the whole point of
for you.
You're talking
Lauren.
to me specifically
Yeah,
right now.
You said you agreed with Ebony though.
My whole point of what I'm saying, right? Because right now I feel like you're taking what I didn't agree with and the fact that I don't remember specific words or whatever
No, I'm
you
not,
said.
Lauren. Really, I really think this would be better served and more productive if just like it's kind of like an opening statement in a court of law. I gave you a good amount of time to lay out two prongs of disagreement, and I respect and appreciate both of your positions. I'm not saying they are wrong, but I am saying I don't know how productive it is to be the time, manner, and delivery police. So for everybody, Lauren, that takes your position, which is very valid, it was visceral to me. I found it triggering. It felt hurtful. I felt attacked. I felt policed. I felt shitted on, whatever it is. There's also a whole nother contingency of Black women that felt seen by that commentary, that felt heard. And my peers who are 40 and up are like, I wish someone would have told me. And the fact that you are doing the labor, Ebony, you are doing the service of letting young girls that are currently in position to put themselves in best practices matters. And it's good that somebody is rolling up their sleeves and doing the work and having the conversation publicly that, quiet as kept, many pockets of Black elite culture are having with their children generationally every day.
So I'm responding to this second part of this Ebony K. Williams basically statement she made about women taking courtship more serious with men while they're young in college before they set in their career. This is basically something that came to basically social pressure in a sense of also her being honest and seeing how things are in society as far as, what, for once in my life, I have to realize that I am wrong. And, in order to help other people with my platform, with my prestige, let me, just be honest for once and say, I had it wrong. This is how you should do this. This is how these things should be. And I appreciate her for that. That makes it, something that kind of, makes it where she's human. She has a soul. Um, you know, she has some type of heart to make some type of speech to where maybe somebody, that's up and coming just like her might take heed and have, less problems in life. Because I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna try to make this as short and sweet as possible. A lot of times people take people for granted. They think that it's so many unlimited people that you can get with and all of that. And a lot of times what happens is that does not happen. The person that you choose and you break up with, a lot of times women realize, and even men, that that person was more special than you thought they were. And the grass is not greener on the other side. And, basically, you would have to do what is called settling in order to get with somebody else because the person that you were with prior was way more exceptional, way more quality as a person than a lot of people that you are currently trying to date or meet. And it's like, yeah, I mean, this is a combination of kind of thinking you're just so hot, you're so special, and I can just get with anybody else. It happens, all the time, um, with people breaking up and stuff like that. And it's you can go on and live your life, have a career, have tons and tons of money, even, and you still will, have some type of sourness when it comes to a relationship because a lot of times, even if you get with somebody else, in the back of your mind, you thinking about that one that got away because you didn't value them and all of that type of uh, thoughts that you had at the time where you just was so special. And you know that that happens to a lot of women that are very very exceptional as far as looks and very career focused and um, also exceptional at the time, I would even say. But a lot of times when you get older, beauty fades, your desirability fades, and unfortunately, that doesn't get any better. You know, that you know shriveled up person that is your grandmother or grandfather, that you still respect. They're old, and they're loved and cherished and stuff like that if they were good people. But they not trying to you know put any shame on anybody's old parents or grandparents, but we all are gonna get old. We are gonna get shriveled and pass away. And the thing about it is, you might be hot, one period of your life or several periods of your life, but you're not gonna be hot forever. Um, and also you gotta really think about it. Like, you really have to look at it like a perspective of, I need to kind of cash in my investment while I still can. And what I mean by that is, that person that you really, and really like, the person that you really want to be with, that's who you should probably try to, you know, set things in perspective with, instead of, thinking that you're just so high above everybody else. Um, Everybody has some exceptionalism within themselves. Everybody has some type of elitism about themselves. Even a woman at the grocery store, she feels as though she's above, somebody else. The man that works at the gas station, he feels as though he's someone exceptional, for whatever reason, it is. Everybody, that's a natural trait, to have some type of exceptionalism about yourself, some type of confidence about yourself. That's natural. But where it goes into delusion is where you think that that's going to be like that forever. Everybody is going to, fall into this exceptionalism where they're going to treat you like a princess or a queen. And what you find out is that basically time goes on, life goes on, and whatever you desire out of life is not necessarily going to land on your lap. You have to go out, put in the work, live your life, and hope that someone, actually worth anything is going to desire you, and you can have some type of relationship with that person. And that's, pretty much kind of what things how things transpire. Now, it's a cold world in a sense where, things ain't gonna always happen. I have to remind myself, you can even have a very, very good relationship to where you're with someone that you really, really enjoy, really care about, and then, something happens to where, you get into a car accident, or your spouse gets in a car accident, and then boom, you had a loving, wonderful, pleasant relationship, and it's just life just came crashing down, and you're sad, and you're lonely and depressed and all of that, and you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't have any toxic relationship. You didn't argue. You guys weren't, fist fighting, anything like that. It was just, life happened, accident occurred, and then you're no longer, with this person. You're no longer able to wake up with this person. If you have children, you have to raise your children by yourself. Um, this happens every day in across the world. You could have a wonderful relationship, and then just boom, that person is gone. So if nothing else, if you do have some type of relationship to where it's very toxic and unenjoyable, you got to ask yourself what life is. Is this my life? Is this life worthy of dealing with this? Life is already hard. So being in a relationship that's hard as well, it's like, that doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Um, you have a choice in a matter of if you're gonna deal with this person or not. Life is gonna already be hard. That's a given. But when you choose to deal with people that um, are going to make your life harder, that's just that just doesn't kind of make sense to me. And I've been there, but you know, that's something that you have to make a choice about. But as far as Ebony K. Williams and her decisions to kind of quote unquote keep it real. I hope she continues to keep it real. She already has a lot of money. She already has a lot of career success. Um, if you take your career and your success, and just correlate that to you trying to, work on your behavior problems, because a lot of these women, they have, basically behavioral problems. It's not that they don't look good. It's not that they don't have, you know, a body that looks good and all of that. It's basically their behavior, how they think, how they react to conversations, and I've talked about that in first part of, the Ebony K. Williams, I think it was 92 Climbers Dilemma or something like that. And it's like basically she she has the dilemma of, yeah, she is a quote unquote looker. She is, also has money. She's also, smart enough to, know how to navigate the business world, earn a living well above her peers. But all of that doesn't necessarily equate to a long standing relationship, a long standing marriage, getting along with a man. There's not like you go to work and you do whatever you have to do at work. Well, a lot of times women fall short with that same type of dynamic inside of a relationship with a man. They treat their boss better than they do their man. So I said it, time and time again. Maybe you should sleep with your boss. Maybe you should, have sex with your boss, kind of like, um, people do in unfortunately, like some type of slavery dynamic, where the house slave used to sleep with the master. And it's like, I hate to be, too graphic as far as, to reach back to that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of women, they treat their boss better than they do their husband, better than they do their fiance or boyfriend. And it's like it begs the question: are you really a slave? Because that's what slaves do. Slaves only honor their masters. So the question also remains: can you serve two masters? Because obviously, the one that you work for won't tolerate the stuff that you will probably do to your husband or boyfriend. So what dynamic works for you? Now, I mean, that's a question that I would just ponder, for the women that have those issues. But that's kind of how I look at this. I mean, obviously, this woman was not raised by her father. She had some deep, serious issues, and I'm sure that is a result of that. Not necessarily saying that I give her a pass or anything like that, but it is. I mean, you can't necessarily expect someone to be a super woman or a superman if they were not raised but with their father. Is just it's a severe imbalance when you don't have your father in your household. A lot of times you have problems dealing with men, having relationships with men because you grew up without a man in the household. So, anyways, I do believe in miracles. Miracles happen a lot of times. Um, I hope she and a lot of other women continue to work on their behavioral problems, their their consciousness, the way they think, the way they act, and basically try to realize more reality than delusion.